The conversation that happened between Luffy and Loki, it inspired me to make this video. It happened in chapter 1145 and how badly Luffy wants to see Shanks again. Loki, he resonates with Luffy and understands how it feels to idolize someone. This brings up the importance of the environment and how it's everything, because it shapes how someone's going to be when they get older, or the mindset that they have. Different things like goals, ideas, what they perceive to be right and wrong. All of it stems from the environment and the wisdom of the adults that surround them. I do want to put the caveat out there, this isn't the end all be all, because there are definitely different situations where someone can go against the grain and they don't follow the preset path that they were destined to follow based off of the environment they were in. And so based off of this logic, there are a few characters that I want to highlight, specifically 3. Now, okay, technically it's 9 total, which we'll talk about in the video, but the reason why I wanted to talk about 3, it's those from the new generation and then 6 people from generations prior. Those 3 from the new generation that I want to highlight include Luffy, Loki, and Koby, and then the path that they're following. The people that they followed includes Luffy, it was Roger and Shanks, Loki was Blackbeard and Xebec, and then lastly Koby was Aokiji and Garp. Now before people go running into the comments, yes, okay, I know that technically if you look at just the age, technically Loki being 63, he is older than Blackbeard, so it's like, hey, why do I have Loki with the new generation? But y'all know giants, they age so freaking weird that Loki, he has to be a part of Luffy's generation if anything. What's this my video, so I'm gonna talk about whoever I want. So we're gonna look at the type of environment that everyone that they were a part of, who they looked up to, their ideas, and how it shaped them into the people they are today. I already know there's going to be some people saying, hey, what about Zoro, talking about how he's going to be the new generation's world's greatest swordsman, how he followed down the path of Ryuma and Mihawk. Yeah, I get that. I am probably one of the biggest Zoro fans out there, so I understand wanting him to be in the video, but he just doesn't fit the narrative. I want to talk about the major faction slash endgame characters that we saw in that chapter spread when Vegapunk was talking about getting the One Piece, and Zoro works under Luffy, so it just doesn't work. I don't feel like explaining everything, and once again, it's my video. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never saw on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. We're gonna start off with Loki because he is the most recent character that was introduced with a connection to Xebec, and we also know a little about Xebec and Blackbeard compared to the other characters, so I think doing Loki would probably be the easiest to talk about. Xebec was a ruthless individual, having no cares for who he attacked as long as it led to him gaining power. Like, he has no issues killing world nobles or they slaves as long as it suits his wishes. Rocks, he was willing to do any and everything, which coincides with his dream of becoming the king of the world and why he would attack different locations, leaving nothing but destruction in his path. A lot of people believe that Blackbeard, he inherited Xebec's will because his mentality as well as his ship is called the Saber of Xebec, and there's a lot of individuals that believe that Blackbeard could potentially be Xebec's son. Teach's mentality is that he believes that a pirate crew is defined by its members being in sync about their goals and agendas, and relationship, well, that's a secondary concern. He's willing to let any and everyone join his crew as long as it fits his objective, and that objective is similar to Xebec. It's turning Pirate Island into its own country that is recognized by the world government, making it known as Blackbeard's kingdom, where criminals would have free reign and honestly do whatever the hell they wanted. That might just be a stepping stone, because on top of that, Teach's ultimate goal, it seems to be world's domination, and to accomplish this, he's willing to negotiate with powerful adversaries, kidnap high-ranking officers, infiltrate government-controlled islands. Honestly, he'll do anything to achieve his goal. Like the others before him, Loki is considered to be dangerous, cunning, cruel, and that he's a backstabbing individual. He believes that he is the true sun god that is meant to bring the destruction to the world. He also looked up to Xebec and wanted to join his crew, similar to how Luffy looked up to Shanks. However, well, Xebec wasn't wasn't really a big fan of bringing a brat to the crew. But shout out Loki, hey, he at least tried. Unfortunately, well, he got the snot beat out of him. All of their goals, or the type of way that they think, that they're very conniving, they're underhanded, they're vicious, and that they want to be the king of the world or have world domination. The next group that we're going to be talking about includes the Marines, Koby, Aokiji, and Garp. And let's start off with Garp. He is a very righteous man who takes great pride in being a Marine despite knowing how corrupt the Marines are under the world government, which is why he was offered the title of Admiral several times, but he ended up refusing it because he knows the deep corruption and the hatred involved with the world nobles, so he didn't want to serve directly under them. So even though Garp, he trusts the Navy, he believes in them, and for the most part agrees with their ideals of justice, he doesn't follow them 100% of the time because he knows that the system, it does have its flaws. I do think it is a little crazy how much faith Garp has in Marines, and he knows that it's corrupt, but at the same time, I guess since he's a part of the Marines, I guess he can make sure that stuff doesn't necessarily go out of hand, and as long as blood isn't actually shed, even though there's a little bit of discrimination, Garp can, I guess, technically call it peace because, well, he can't fix everything, he's only human. But this is why his apprentice Kuzan ended up leaving the Marines. He has a strong sense of justice on the inside, but outgoingly it's more lazy justice. But he can't agree with the Marine system. We saw during the Ohara incident how he disagreed with Akainu's methods of killing the different scholars. Him leaving the Marines is because he believes that the justice that he wanted is something that the Marines can't offer. Now, we're not entirely sure his motives or what that sense of justice is. I find it hard to believe, even though he joined the Blackbeard crew, that it's something worse than what the Marines are already implementing. And then lastly, Koby, he joined the Marines, but more specifically, he's a part of SWORD so that he can have more freedom but still fights for the Navy. Honestly, I feel like this is something that Garp wanted to do, but he couldn't since he had the title of being the hero of Marines and he was the face of Marines. It would be kind of weird if being the hero and then all of a sudden he's a part of SWORD that's not affiliated with the, in quotes, with the world government. Koby has a strong sense of justice similar to Garp, where he values doing the right thing, whether it's criminals, whether it's pirates, whether it's normal civilians, as seen when he stood in front of Akainu to stop the war that the Marines had already won. So all three of them, they resemble justice and they follow down the path that they believe is right. Lastly, and probably the easiest one, and the one that you guys were probably looking the most forward to, is Luffy, Shanks, and Roger. Starting out with Roger, he became the Pirate King and was considered, or at least in Luffy's eyes, the freest man in the world. Such a pure and straightforward guy who's childlike, but when push comes to shove and people insult Roger's friends, oh, he becomes a monster. We actually don't necessarily know Roger's intent behind why he wanted to become the Pirate King, but we can more or less figure out if he's just like Luffy, it's to be the freest man in the world. Shanks is a more laid-back individual and everybody loves him, hence why he has so many different allies. And at the same time, I mentioned him being laid back. Shanks is a better man than me because he'll let people spit on him, he'll let them beat him up, he'll let them spill drinks on it. It doesn't matter. But the moment that someone threatens or hurt his friend, Shanks, similar to Roger, turns into a monster, as seen when he ended up saving Luffy, as well as he stopped Shanks at Elbap. Lastly, Luffy, similar to Roger, he is a type of person that lives in the moment, always just acts on impulse and whatever he feels like doing in the moment. He learned from Shanks to let some things go. We saw it during Jaya when Bellamy was going crazy in the bar. Obviously, he's not Shanks, and sometimes he still does let some things get to him. But just like Shanks, just like Roger, whenever Luffy sees his friends get hurt or somebody threatens them, he goes crazy. These three are the type of individuals to do whatever they want, whatever they feel like, and just be the freest men in the world. That's it for these three generations. I think that they're all going to play an important role in the end game of the series, and I love just the pecking order of seeing the old generation, the current generation, and what the new generation is going to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.